77% of marketing is actually depending on the brand, and this is a critical stage when it comes to the future of business. On an average, 84% of people actually recognize your brand or business based on the merchandise you give them. Consistency can only remain when it comes to a brand by the public relation you have with them. When I talk about all these, we have to understand that these are the most simple things that we have to keep in mind when it comes to brand. We all know that how important branding is, but convincing people that your product or service is really good and keeping them engaged is also an important part of branding. I'm going to tell you examples when these particular companies actually made sure that they convinced and kept their customers engaged. I'm Varsha. Welcome to the Freedom Business English channel. Do not forget to subscribe and download our Freedom app. So this particular story that I'm going to tell you about starts in Italy, in a place called as Milan. There was once a franchise of this particular venture. I'm going to tell you the name of it at the end. This particular food venture actually started its venture all the way from scratch and grew in a larger way. But in Italy, people did not actually accept this brand. They were actually going against it by telling that this particular burger's taste was not that great. And when I tell burger, I'm very sure half of them would have already guessed which brand or food chain I'm talking about. So talking about this particular burger, people started thinking that it wasn't real. It wasn't actually what we're expecting, and it's not meeting our expectations, and this is not the quality we actually expected. But over time, this changed. This company happened to take the entire situation as a challenge and opened a separate venture with a different name and started this burger stall. Everyone started coming one by one, and it so happened one day people started flooding to this burger shop. It was the same company's burger served in a different way, that's all. That was the only difference which was actually given. But over time, when people started noticing and liking the taste of the burger, they started having it in more and more quantity. People started coming over and over. The number of people in a month actually grew. Later, after a month, this particular company came to a conclusion that they have to reveal which brand this is and show people that they have been misjudging it when it came to this brand or food chain. As another day in the restaurant, it was same, regular and usual. So these particular brand people stopped the entire menu which was happening in that digital monitor and started giving them a light buzz about which particular brand this was. While these people assumed it was an entire different brand, that is when they pitched in their brand and launched their booster dose of telling it's McDonald's. Everyone was surprised. Yes guys, in the initial stage in Italy, people were not ready to accept that McDonald's burgers are the real ones. They started thinking the quality of McDonald's burgers are not as good compared to the other burgers. They were not ready to accept why these burgers are booming up and why these burgers are getting a huge craze when it comes to their quality or quantity of food. And then they started assuming that burgers which have been provided by McDonald's were not actually the real ones. So the entire thing got up to the McDonald's mind, and they wanted to convince their customers that whatever they are doing or whatever they are serving is not what they think it is. They are serving the real burgers and they are giving them the right and good quality of burgers. So at the end, when they rolled down their brand by telling that it was McDonald's, and when they showed people that the entire venture which was getting famous in just 1.5 months was actually owned by McDonald's, and whatever burger that they had all these days was also McDonald's. This entire test was actually called as the blind taste test. Well, people started to get encouraged by this and understand that McDonald's was actually really good. And they started accepting McDonald's like the way they were providing to all the other countries, and they started encouraging McDonald's. This is one of the most good strategies that McDonald's used to convince their customers by telling them that no matter what, we are going to give you the burger. Even when they happened to misjudge, they ended up convincing them. This is where you as a company or you as a brand have to establish that you exist in a market for a particular reason, and this is one of the most important things. And this is why you as a company should know and teach people why you exist in the market and make sure that you are convincing them rather than forcing them. This is what McDonald's did not do. They came up with a really good idea of convincing the customers, and this is how you convince people. Talking about the second brand which actually got their customers engaging was one of the most famous drink or beverage brand, I can say. This is one of the most important way and most idealistic way that these people started this amazing trick or tactic with. I would call it a trick or tactic only because they used brains. Back then, their competitors, I would say Pepsi. So when I say their competitors and their rivals as Pepsi, you know which brand I'm talking about. So yes, this brand, when it comes to Pepsi, Pepsi was actually going too good. Everyone started liking Pepsi and people started going towards Pepsi. That is where this particular brand came up with a new idea. They happened to encounter Friendship Day on that particular year. So what they thought is that they installed 3.5 meter tall vending machine of this particular drink brand. And they started calling this as the friendship machine. They placed this obstacle as a vending machine in between people and products so that they get the attention of all the customers who are walking around it. And not only did they do this, they actually started giving their customers activity by telling that if you happen to reach the top and then put in the coin, you're definitely gonna get 2 Coke for the price of just 1. So people started trying this and they started getting involved in this and they started posting over social media as well. Initially when they placed this vending machine, nobody was coming forward, but later a team started performing this by letting people climb on them and then put the coin by a collective efforts of all those friends, and they got 2 drinks for the price of just 1. The product that I am talking to you guys about and the vending machine which was placed in between was none other than Coca-Cola. As they always are good, they never seem to amaze us by getting new tricks and tactics into the market. So this was their most important and nice trick that they got into the market by placing this friendship machine where people started taking part in the activity and getting convinced that this product is actually giving them a day that is actually making them go through the efforts of friendship and then giving them a reward at the end. So when this started happening, a lot of people started posting and taking pictures, and almost this gave them a huge range of promotion. So one way promotion and the other way they were actually giving people activity. They made sure that their customers are being engaged and giving them, this also made them have a great bond with Coca-Cola and their customers. So building bonds with their customers was an amazing move done by Coca-Cola because they made sure that they engage with their customers and give them the offer and reward at the end. So talking about these two things, that how a customer can be convinced and engaged with the activities and build the entire relationship with the brand is simple. It's the way you think. Innovation and creation go side by side. You have to think how are the important ways, and easy, probably that might be the most silliest move, but it's still gonna give you the good returns if your idea or content is really good. Understanding people's reaction and understanding what they like the most is one of the most important things as a business or a company. So think about this, and if you want to learn more and more ways of marketing as well as strategies and how to develop strategies towards business or marketing, do not forget to download our Freedom app because it's got courses on 3 different topics such as business and marketing as well as organic farming and also personal finance. If you want more information regarding all the 3 of this, do not forget to download our app in Play Store or App Store. Thank you so much for watching this video. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe.